Good morning. I'm calling to order the CES Services Committee for Tuesday, August 22nd. If you will, bow your heads with me and we'll say the prayer this morning. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for all the many blessings that you've bestowed upon Columbia County. Dear Lord, please be with those who work out in this heat today. Please keep them well. Dear Lord, I also ask for a special prayer of healing today for Chief Wallen's wife as she begins her journey through chemo. Dear Lord, please be with us now and help us make our decisions in your will. In your most holy and precious name, amen. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, republic, nation.
We have a quorum this morning with 3 commissioners present, and gentlemen, if you have the opportunity to look over the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
So accepted. Mr. Johnson, do we have any changes to our agenda today?
I believe it's ready for your approval, Madam Chair.
Okay, we will move forward as it's written. We have some visitors with us this morning from Columbia County leadership. If you guys would like to stand up and just introduce yourselves and tell us who you work with, we'd love to hear from you.
No pressure.
Right.
I'm David Perry, South State Bank.
Bob Gibson.
Well, welcome this morning. We're glad y'all are here with us. Seeing that we do not have any other presentations this morning or consent agenda items, we will move right into the debate agenda. And we are starting with Mr. Johnson today.
Yes, ma'am. First item we have your consideration is the independent contractor agreement with Jordan Hanson. This is fulfilling the duties of Brendan Fleming, who was serving as the indigent defense attorney in juvenile court. Attorney Hanson will be acting as an independent contractor, not an actual employee of Columbia County. You'll see that the payment there is $917 a month. The term of the agreement shall begin September 1st and end with our fiscal year on June 30, 2024. Staff recommends approval.
Second.
So moved. Next up, we have Mr. Luton.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
First item is for the Performing Arts Center. This is an agreement with Clover Sport for a new point of sale system for concessions at the PAC. For the last couple of years, we've been using Touch Bistro, which has been sort of hit or miss. We have not been very happy with customer service. We've had times where service has gone down in the middle of shows. We can't get anybody to respond. Notification of updates. You know, last thing you want when you open doors is to see the spinning thing. So technical as I can get. So
I think that's technically called the circle.
yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So anyway, this is Clover is a cloud-based system, so it automatically pushes updates. So we shouldn't have that problem. Josh and the staff has worked on this for many months. Talked to many different companies, looked at many options, and feels very comfortable with what they offer and what they have from a customer service standpoint. So there's an upfront cost of $59,088 for some hardware that we need, but then the annual subscription is $10,500 a month after that. So staff recommends.
Are we able to sell any of the old hardware or?
I don't know if we can sell it, but Josh says that we can repurpose both the registers and some of the iPads. So it's not a complete loss of stuff that we bought previously for Touch Bistro. I'll have to look. I think it was around 25,000.
Sounds right.
Correct. We feel as good about this as we possibly can about any software that you're buying.
We buy a lot of software.
Well, that's Mr. Blanchard's fault.
Yeah, it is. Ooh, that hurt, didn't it?
Michael, get rid of all the software and they delete everything and we'll simplify one's life.
Is that a motion? Is that a motion?
That's right.
Not a
Go on paper.
Move to consent. Move to consent.
We don't make motion.
So moved. Next.
Next, we have an independent contract agreement with Bliss Products. This is for shelters for the dog park at Martinez Park. We are almost complete with that side. We think sometime in October, we'll have the dog park done and the playground done, and we'll be ready to reopen that whole side. This is a rather large dog park, so we'll have a big area for small dogs, a big area for large dogs, and a large shelter on either side. So very important, because as feel like we've had a lot of shelters lately, but number one thing people say is they want some shade. So staff recommends approval of this purchase. 2 18-foot hexagon shelters, total of $122,715.37.
Expensive shade.
They are, shelters are pretty more expensive than you realize.
I know that some of our shelters are available for birthday parties and things like that, but I guess these will just be purely
Yeah, these won't,
the park, dog park.
dog birthday parties for sure.
We're investing in dogs. Got it.
These are metal, they're not vinyl.
No, these are very similar to the red, what do we call that?
Rick?
The red gazebo thing at Evanstown Center Park.
Yeah.
The spinny thing, I'm using all kinds of.
That's your director of community services there. Spinny thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep better at night.
I can relate to that terminology.
Move to consent.
Leanne tried to help me. Thank you.
So moved. Next.
Okay, easier one. Animal Services donations. David Harity, $105. K&S Alterations, $100. Attic Treasures, $2,000. Linda Humphreys, $100. And Niru Punjabi, $101.
Right. Move to consent.
Staff recommends, thank you.
So moved and thank you. Next.
So this is a independent contract agreement for tennis instruction at the previous Pittsburgh Racket Club, now Columbia County Racket Center. This is for Brian Blunt, goes by Woody. We've been working with him since we took over. He came over from the previous ownership, sort of gave him a trial basis. He's doing a great job out there. So we want to keep that going and sort of formalize a contract with him. So this will put him on an agreement through the end of June. And at that time, we're going to assess countywide sort of our tennis instruction contracts and try to maybe marry those up together or maybe do separate. We're going to keep our options open. But Woody's doing a great job. This is a 80-20 split. So 20% of his gross revenues are coming back to the county. So
How
staff
does that
recommends
work? Does he submit the gross sales and then we invoice for 20%, or does he
He
just?
collects everything and submits to us a roster of his activities, so we double check that with his
The honor system.
sort of an honor system, but. Correct. Well, there are no memberships for the hard courts, so we allocate him only hard courts. Clay courts, he very rarely uses if ever, and that's where the memberships are, and that's where the highest demand is for court usage. So right now, we have a good allocation of courts for instruction, courts for adult league play. So far, we think everybody is satisfied with the allocation of courts right now.
Where do we stand with pickleball?
We are working on engineering drawings. We're close to selecting a layout, I believe, 10 courts. We're looking at about 10 courts. So as soon as we, excuse me, as soon as we have those, we'll put those out to bid and start that process.
And we did have some ADA courts as well, so we wanted to make sure that we were able to provide that in the pickleball section. We do have people that are playing in wheelchairs and other handicap accessible devices, so we'll have those courts available as well over there.
And every court will have the standard USA Pickleball spacing. That's been something we've heard a lot about. It'll have barriers between the courts and adequate spacing. So we're happy to be able to fit 10 courts with the spacing.
Second.
So moved. Next.
This is a purchase for campground items for Wildwood Park. So we have picnic tables that are over 50 years old at Wildwood Park. If you've been out there, there's big concrete masses that need to be replaced. Old trash cans and fire rings. So we have some 11 to 16 Wildwood SPOS money. We want to take this opportunity to upgrade all of that stuff. I think this will really give the park a fresh look with all this stuff. So this is 108 picnic tables, 70 trash cans, 65 fire rings, and adding lantern hangers, 65 of those for each campsite. $238,633.32. Staff recommends approval.
When will we expect delivery and installation of those? Okay, will we have to close the sites and do site work, or no?
So just second with a question. The table, this picture, I mean, that's not removable, right? Replacement tables? I'm looking at that.
Oh, the new one.
Will they be secure? I'm just looking at that picture, and so.
What will we do with the old ones? Okay.
Wood ones, I think you'd trash. Probably seconded, yeah.
Okay, so we'll move that to consent. Next.
Okay, and now this is a purchase of banquet chairs for Savannah Rapids Pavilion. These chairs are over 15 years old. They get set up, taken down, moved up, moved down, and they're pretty beat up. So we have held off what we have as long as we could. We're recommending a purchase of 600 new chairs in the amount of $61,020.78.
They're beautiful. The new ones are very nice. I guess this might be the mom and me talking, but they're white fabric. So will we Scotch guard those, or a little bit worried about staining and?
I'm
Actually Scotch guarded. Uh-huh. Okay. White. Gotcha. Thank you.
Move to consent.
So moved. Thank you, Mr. Luton.
Thank you.
Wallen?
Good morning. This first item is animal no, I'll let you stick with what you already
Do you want me to
You
take?
can do mine if you want.
did. First item is a proclamation for National Recovery Month. There's a mobile recovery across Georgia movement that has a bus that'll be traveling all the way across the state, bringing awareness to recovery, resources, connecting folks, as well as just the awareness in the community various behavioral health issues. So staff recommends approval of the proclamation for presentation September 5th, Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Next.
Next item is a service agreement with FireK 5K. The fiscal year 2024 budget provides commission discretionary funds for various services, and the breakout shown, staff would recommend approval.
Move to consent.
So moved. Next.
Two additional service agreements, one with the Burn Foundation of America and Columbia County Community Connections. This is to distribute the funds collected in our 2023 boot drive. The amount would be $31,355 to each organization, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Second.
So moved. Next.
This last item is a purchase of ProQA medical dispatch software and the Motorola Flex ProQA interface. We're going to begin dispatching Gold Cross to ambulances. Gold Cross currently uses ProQA in order to classify calls for their severity and the level of responses needed, number of units. It also certifies our dispatchers, emergency medical dispatchers. So they'll be able to coach callers and feel like we should at least match all of the level of service that Gold Cross had. So that's why we chose this particular software. Then we'd also like the interface for our current computer-aided dispatch program so that the information that's collected ongoing throughout the event is going to be fed into our CAD system as well as all of our other systems that give operational overview. So the $48,960 for ProQA training, certification, and ongoing maintenance will be $5,650 annually. And then the interface is $16,234.95 to Motorola, and it'll be approximately $1,200 annually. Both will be funded from the 2024 EMS budget. Staff recommends.
Part of our agreement to take over this function of Gold Cross.
Yes, it's a requirement, really.
Yeah.
Cross has.
As soon as the training's complete. You've hired all four now? Or two of the four?
Two of the four.
Those two have experience.
They do. They do. Both work for
That
Gold Cross.
training will be short, and then we'll have two more to pick up. I would say yes.
Thank you. Any legal matters, Mr. Driver? Staff reports, back to you, Chief.
I have our year-to-date budget report as well as our response summary, and I'd be glad to answer questions.
Like you're trending toward almost 10,000 calls.
I would say somewhere at least
9,600.
9,000.
Prorated is 96.
Questions? Commissioners or public comments? We don't have any executive session items this morning, so we will adjourn and pick back up with Chairman Richardson's committee in just a moment.